Hi, today's video is about life skills, and this one is pretty packed with lots of different life skills and experiences that you could use to help you prepare for life after high school. We'll start with life skills from early on when you're a youngster and move on up to different life skills for when you're older in high school. And each one of these build upon each other to help you be prepared, help you have confidence that you can handle certain situations. So we'll go ahead and get started with our life skills package. Okay. So our life skills timeline, here we have it. We'll start off with the elementary school life skills, and these you can teach early on. Things from personal hygiene, how to clean your bedroom, how to do homework. All of these are age-appropriate items that you can teach your youngsters. And if you're a student, take a look at each one of these and make sure that you know how to do them. And if not, ask for help or find the experience that you need so that you can make sure you have all of these under control before you leave for college. In your workbook, I have a list of every one of these life skills and a measurement tool that you can assess. Is this new to you? You've never seen it before? Are you experienced with it, but you could use a little help? Or do you consider yourself an expert? Please fill that out and be honest as you go through those exercises so that you can get a good gauge on what you need to learn so that you're ready for college or life after high school. And please know that this is not a comprehensive list. There's no way that I could pack all of this into a video. So this is a pretty decent list, though, of things, common life skills that most people will need to know. There's always going to be more, though. And also in your workbook, I advise you to speak with other people, parents, family members, trusted adults, as you walk around the house, walk around your car, walk around your school, and think about what else do you need to know. Okay, so let's dig in here. For personal hygiene, I list this, and it sort of seems obvious, but just so that you know, personal hygiene is important, right? It's important socially so that you aren't the smelly kid, but it's also important for our health. So as a rule, dentist appointments twice a year for good cleaning, your vision test once a year, a checkup with a doctor usually once a year, especially as you're a youngster, but also, daily baths or showers, cleaning your face, washing your hair. And this will differ for each person. Some people can wash their hair every day. Some people can't. Some people need to wash their face more often. If you find that you're getting breakouts, it may be helpful to wash your face in the morning and at night. If it's more extreme than that, check with a doctor. A dermatologist can help with any skin issues, whether it's eczema, acne, anything that's causing you to be uncomfortable. Check with your doctor, and they can usually provide some type of topical ointment that you just rub on your face that will help. And cleaning your bed sheets is also helpful because you don't want to sleep on that dirty oil each night. It's just going to pack into those pores and you'll get more breakouts. So personal hygiene, it's important. Make sure you're brushing your teeth twice a day too, morning and night. And that's all we'll have to say about hygiene right now. So cleaning your bedroom. As a little one, it's easy. Clean your bedroom. It's your space. That's your toys, your stuff. So clean that up. Homework. As you get into 4th and 5th grade, I want you to start taking responsibility for your homework. Make sure that you know what you're supposed to do as the teacher gives you an assignment. Write it in your notebook at school. They may give you a calendar or some type of book to write your homework assignments in. Bring your books home so that you can do your homework. And take that initiative to do it right away. Some families want you to have a quick snack and then jump into your homework. Others, it just depends. Whatever works for you, but just make sure that you are making the conscious effort to do your homework. Thank you notes. Thank you notes are very important, and many people overlook this. But as you get gifts for your birthday, for Christmas, just random things, make sure you write a handwritten thank you note and either give it back to the person in person to person or mail it. So thank you notes are important. Alarm clocks. When you're younger, you just can't hear the alarm clock. But as you get older, we need to start training ourselves to hear the alarm clock. So this is not the expectation that I can set the alarm and you'll wake up right away. But it's the expectation that we can start to practice, and mom and dad are there as a backup to make sure you're getting up. Washing dishes. This is the washing dishes by hand. So as you're entering 4th and 5th grade, you can probably reach the sink pretty good. And this is a good time for your parents to teach you how to wash dishes by hand. Washing the family car. This can be fun, but it's also an important skill for you. So wash the car. Make sure your parents are there to help you though, because there's certain parts of the car that are going to be sharp or they might be hot. Some parts you just can't reach. So have them help you with this. Washing, drying clothes, and putting them up. This is an easier task as you enter 4th and 5th grade. When you're younger, you can just help mom and dad to sort through it, fold it, maybe take it to the room that it needs to go to. But definitely laundry is something that you can help with in elementary school. Also, in elementary school, you can help with yard work. So raking leaves can be a fun activity. This could include picking up sticks, weeding the garden, any type of outdoor activity. And usually you have parents out there helping you or older siblings. You can also help to test smoke alarms. And this is a pretty fun activity that you can do. Usually it happens once or twice a year, but you can go around and figure out how to test them, how to replace the battery. Phone calls. So you probably don't have your own phone right now, but you can help your parents screen calls. So as phone calls come in, you'll see it on caller ID, who it is, and you'll know which ones to pick up and which ones you shouldn't pick up. Trash and recycle. Hopefully by now you're learning how to put items in the trash bin versus the recycle bin, and then you can help to actually take that out of the house to wherever it needs to go, whether it's to the curb or a dumpster. And then preparing easy meals. So this is a fun activity too, because as you get older, you can help to make sandwiches, salads, some simple meals that will help the family, and it will help you have some life skills to prepare easy meals for yourself. Sweeping and vacuuming. So this is also an easy task as you get into 4th and 5th grade, but sweeping up the mess in the kitchen, the bathroom, vacuuming the carpet, this is very helpful. And dusting as well. Now, some families will have a theory to this, whether you dust first or you vacuum first, but you'll learn that as you work with your parents. Setting the table for dinner. So in your workbook, I also give a recommendation to the National League of Junior Cotillion for not just setting the dinner table, but this can help you learn social graces, like how to have a 5-course meal. What spoon, what fork do you use at certain points of the meal? Where to put your napkin, how to excuse yourself from the table. So that's a great resource. But as a basic rule, we want our children to know how to set the table. And then weeding the yard. Again, raking the leaves, weeding the yard, that's just very helpful life skill for you to know. Okay, so then we start to move on to middle school. And in middle school, you're probably getting a little taller. You're becoming more responsible. So there's more chores or life skills that you can learn. And I like to call them more life skills than chores, because chores to me sounds like I'm telling you to do this, where especially in middle school, I'm wanting you to start taking more initiative. If you see something that needs to be done, go ahead and do it. So in middle school, you should be able to change your bed sheets on a routine basis. And talk with your parents. You'll figure out if you should be doing this weekly, every other week, at a minimum once a month. Keeping your room tidy. So this goes along with putting all your stuff in the right place, having some type of organizational method with where all your clothes and shoes and dirty clothes and homework and all your stuff goes. A deep clean of your bedroom at least twice a year. You can do this as well, and maybe you schedule it with when the time changes, when we change the clocks, or whenever. It doesn't have to be certain times of the year, but a good deep clean where you take everything out from under your bed and you vacuum really good there. You maybe wash your bed sheets, wash your comforter, wash curtains, clean your windows, wipe down all of your furniture, not just the top, but the sides too, to make sure that you're getting all that dust off. Pulling all your stuff out of the closet, off the floor, so you can get a good vacuum around where your shoes are. Just a good deep clean. Changing light bulbs. At this point in middle school, you're probably tall enough that you can either use a step stool or a ladder and change light bulbs. Now, I want to caution you, work with your parents the first time that you do this, because it can be dangerous as far as if a light bulb breaks. Depending on what light bulb you use, there could be some toxic chemicals in there, plus there's glass. Cleaning mirrors. Because you're taller, now you can clean the mirrors. So this is helpful as well. Mowing lawns. So now instead of just picking up leaves and sticks and weeding a little bit, you can actually mow the lawn. And I want, again, to caution you with this. Using lawn equipment requires a lot of responsibility. So ask your parents to help you with this, to teach you how to be safe. There's a very sharp blade in there, and I don't want you to get cut. Babysitting. In most states, middle schoolers can babysit, and there's classes that you can take through the Red Cross or maybe other groups within your community where you get certified. They'll teach you all sorts of things that you need to know to be safe with children. But babysitting is a great idea. And whether you're babysitting or mowing yards, you could actually put this together as a little job if you wanted to. You could ask your parents to help you make some business cards or flyers, go door to door and try to get a few kids to watch or a few yards to mow to make a little extra money. Preparing the family meal. So in middle school, we did some easy meals like make a sandwich. But in middle school, you should be able to make a complete meal. And this might be something easy like spaghetti or a pizza, but I want to challenge you to work with your family, especially on those days where they make things from scratch. So mashed potatoes, bread, if you're going to bake some bread, making a cake, and just work with them in the kitchen. Look at it as an opportunity to learn how to bake, how to make a meal, and you will learn a lot if you just offer to help in the kitchen. Wiping down counters. Now this is more than just getting the stuff off the top. This is spraying it down with some type of disinfectant so you can get all the germs off. Because counters, well, they collect germs. And we don't want germs because they make us sick. So work with your parents on this too. Depending on the chemicals that you use, you'll likely need to use some gloves or a mask over your face. But you want to make sure that you're using the correct chemicals so that you're not bleaching your clothes out or causing any type of harm to your health. Okay. Also in middle school, getting the mail. Getting the mail is actually pretty helpful to your family. And if you do this on a routine basis, then it helps you to get in the habit of doing this, which will be important when you're an adult. It will also just be something that your parents can depend on. So you're starting to build trust that you're responsible enough to get the mail and bring it to the house and even distribute it if that's what they want you to do. So doing yard work is needed. This is where we are taking that initiative to, if we notice that the grass is a little tall, we just do it. If we notice that a tree fell down, then maybe we start to pick up the limbs and work with our family to remove that tree. Responsible for library card and books. So if you have a library card, you go there and you get some books. Well, there's a responsibility to that, to make sure you return things on time. And so I want you to be responsible with this. Pay attention to those deadlines. Make sure that you're taking very good care of those books. One of my mottos when borrowing something is to return it in at least as good of shape as it was when you received it. So I like this motto because if it's just a library book, then that means you're not going to spill something on it, you're not going to damage it in any way, but you're just going to give it back the way it was. However, if you're doing something else and somebody lets you borrow, let's say, a bicycle, well, you want to make sure you don't damage it, but you can also look at how can you make it better. Can you clean it up, maybe wipe the dirt off, and then give it back? So how can you do it so that you're actually returning it in better shape than it was when you received it? Making the grocery list. This is more than just writing out the list as your parents tell you what to do. This again is taking the initiative. As you use up products in the house, then you write it on the list. So if you use the rest of the milk, you write it on the list. Maybe you even go another step forward and you call your parents and say, hey, I used all the milk. Can you get some on your way home? So it's taking that initiative and noticing. Doing housework as needed. Again, this is noticing what needs to be done and taking the initiative to do it. Washing the windows. This is more than just washing the windows on the inside now. I'm looking at washing the windows on the outside too. Now, if you're going to try and wash windows on a second story floor, then that's a little bit different. You might talk with your parents about getting an extension so that you're not up on the ladder. Mopping floors. So in elementary school, you probably swept the floor and vacuumed. Now you can add to that mopping the floor, which is a little bit more of a skillful technique, because you want to start mopping it in one space and then work your way out of the room so that you're not stepping in all the water and making a big mess. And if you have pets, middle school is a great time to make sure that you can feed and water your pets, take them out for walks and exercise, and just clean up after them. And then cleaning your bathroom. In middle school, a lot of times we start getting stuff in the bathroom. Hair products, face products, deodorant, all kinds of stuff. And it's thrown all over the counter. So I want you to clean your bathroom. At least keep it tidy. Get the clothes off the floor. Make sure that everything is clean. But this can also be a deep clean in the bathroom. So cleaning the sink, the toilets, and the bathtub, the shower stall with products to disinfect and to clean that up. Again, work with your parents because some of those products are pretty toxic and I don't want you to get sick. You may need to use some gloves, rubber gloves, and a face mask as you use the products, but I want you to get the experience that you need so that you can keep your bathroom clean and tidy. Okay. Now we'll move right on into the high school area. So high school, you've already learned what to do in elementary and middle school. Now we're looking at high school level. And with the high school, I want you to, again, notice what needs to be done and take initiative to do it. So cleaning the garage is helpful. One, you likely have a car and you're probably going in and out of the garage. You may have a bicycle and a lot of sports stuff. So you've got things in the garage. Let's clean it up and keep it nice and tidy. Sweeping the floor to get all the dust and leaves out of the garage is helpful. But you can also go a little bit further and work with your family to see if you can help organize it. Hanging hooks on the wall, building shelves, all of those are great skills for you to learn. Cleaning and detailing the vehicles. So earlier we were cleaning the vehicles with our family's help. Now you're tall enough that you can just do it all yourself probably. So wiping down the wheels, cleaning off the tires, cleaning the entire vehicle from the top down, opening the doors, vacuuming inside, cleaning the windows, really getting a good deep clean on those vehicles. And one thing that your parents probably would love for you to do is clean their vehicles for them as a surprise. So I've known some families that once a week or once a month, the children go out and wash the car for the parents, and it's really a blessing for those parents. Okay, helping younger siblings. If you have little brothers and sisters, you're in high school and they're really looking up to you. So this is a chance for you to help them with their homework, help them learn to ride a bike, help them in any way that you can. This is a special time where you guys get to bond and you can truly help them. And while you do that, it helps your parents too. Helping your parents. So regardless if you have brothers or sisters, you likely have a mom or dad in the house with you, or a guardian of some type. Somebody is in the home with you. So I want you to think about what you can do to help them, whether it's run errands or, again, just take the initiative to clean the house, make a meal when you know they're going to be running late and they're tired from work. Ask them if there's anything that you can do. Loading and unloading the dishwasher. If there's one chore in the house that can cause conflict, it's oftentimes the dishwasher, because everyone has their own theory as to how to load it. Regardless, I want you to know there's more than one way to do it, and I just want you to do it. So load the dishwasher, put the soap in, the dishwashing liquid, make sure it's dishwashing liquid, and run it. And this will help you in the long run. I have heard that some people get to the college age and they only use paper plates because they don't know how to wash dishes. So I don't want that to be you. Grocery shopping. In middle school, you learned that you can not just write down what your parents tell you to write down, but you're taking the initiative to notice what needs to be purchased at the grocery, write it on a list. Well, now in high school, you're probably old enough to drive, and maybe you have your own car, so you can actually go get this for your parents. This is a great opportunity for you to walk through the store with your mom or dad or guardian and ask them to help you make wise choices. They can teach you to look at prices, look at quality, and how to buy things. It's quite an ordeal when you first start shopping. So this will help you to do it, and your parents will pay for it as long as you just go and do the legwork. Running errands. Mentioned this earlier, but again, if you have a car, you can certainly run some errands for your parents. And this may be dropping off bills to the post office. It could be, again, running to the grocery store. It could be taking your younger brothers and sisters to their activities. All of this is so helpful, and you are learning life skills in the process. Ironing and mending clothes. Not everybody can do this. This is a life skill that unfortunately is not as popular these days, but it's very important. So if your parents know how to iron and mend clothes, meaning they sew on buttons, they can sew a hole up, they can put a patch on, maybe they can actually make clothes. They can take a pattern and make clothes. I want you to learn what you can from your parents. So when you're ironing, especially if you're going out on a special event, you will likely want your clothes very pristine. Your pants or dress or top, you want those ironed and just as crisp as possible. Caution with the iron, it is hot, so I want somebody to teach you how to do this. Don't just take the initiative and do this by yourself the first time. You'll either burn yourself or you will ruin the clothes, unfortunately. Mending clothes, though, you could probably take the initiative with this. If you have a button that's fallen off, grab a needle and thread and try to sew that button back on. It's really not that hard. Okay. Also in high school, you can start to do some household maintenance. So if you look around, do you notice something that's broken or not working right? Maybe there's a toilet clogged, or the sink is clogged, or the drain in the bathtub is clogged. You can start to fix these things. Then maybe there's some rickety stairs somewhere going to the basement or outside, and that needs to be tightened up. Now that one's a little bit more complicated, but nevertheless, pay attention and notice if something in the house is just not up to par. And then ask your parents to either help you fix it, or maybe they have someone that can come and help you fix it, or you can YouTube how to fix it. Or if they hire someone, ask that person, the professional, if you can watch, if that person can teach you how to fix it in the future, especially something like a clogged drain. It's not that hard to fix, and you can learn a lot from this, and then it both saves time and money in the long run when you know how to fix these things yourself. Vehicle maintenance. So with vehicle maintenance, we are looking at the fluids in the car, making sure your tires are good. We are watching the oil, watching all the gauges in the car to make sure that they are good to go. So the idea behind vehicle maintenance is that our car continues to run and it doesn't blow up, right? That we don't mess it up. So I want you to learn about all the different types of maintenance that you need to know for your specific car. Your laundry. In high school, many people take ownership of their own laundry, and they have a hamper in their room, they put their laundry in there, and then every other day or once a week, they'll go and do their own laundry. And that's completely fine. Or some of them will continue to combine their laundry with the family laundry, but then the person in high school starts to take ownership and they do all the laundry for the whole household. And this may be as easy as throwing a load in once a day or once every other day and rotating it, or waiting for one day a week and doing it all at once. It's completely up to you how you do it. You might want to experiment with the schedule. Again, some people will do a load a day or a load every other day, wash it, swap it to the dryer. Other people will wait until one day a week and then spend 3 or 4 hours just doing laundry. Completely up to you. Cleaning out the refrigerator. So I want you to understand why we clean out the refrigerator, why it's important, and how to do it. The main purpose is to disinfect, to get rid of all of the expired food, and then to put everything back nice and tidy. So you really do just gut the whole refrigerator of anything in it. Wipe it down with some type of disinfectant. Again, that's a chemical usually, and you'll need gloves and a face mask in order to stay, to not allow that chemical to get into your body too much. Then, as you put the food items back, you want to check the expiration date. If anything's expired, just throw it away. You can also do this in your pantry. So you empty the entire pantry, including the spices, and look at it to see what's expired and what's not, and then put it back in an organized way. Okay, maintaining your schedule and communicating it to your parents. In high school, the goal is to really get you to be pretty independent, but at the same time, you're still living with other people. And as long as you live with other people, whether it's your parents or later it's with your roommate or later it's with your spouse, it's important that we communicate with them so that they know where you're at, what you're doing, and they're not worried about you. So I want you to start managing your own schedule. And this could include everything you need to know for school, for any activities you do after school, including work or sporting events, any type of friendship activities. You should have a good calendar where you're marking all of this down. And maybe you use your phone. And that's fine. But then have a second type of calendar that your parents can see so that they know where you're at. And this will help so that they're not calling you at 8 or 10 o'clock at night to say, where are you? I thought you would be home by 6. Because then they can look at the calendar and say, oh, they're at work. And it just helps with that communication. It helps so that your parents aren't worried over where you're at and stressed out. And it gives you that freedom to know that you're in control of your schedule. Okay, paying your bills. So in high school, you're probably not paying too many bills. You could be paying rent and phone bills and utility bills and gas and electric and food bills and who knows. But really, most high schoolers don't do that. I want to encourage you though, if you have a job, then pay for your phone bill, pay for your gas in your car, maybe even pay the insurance to your car. And you're running around, fund money should come from your job. So this is helping you to learn how to manage your money. And we'll have a separate lesson entirely devoted to how to manage money. But the first step is pay your phone bill. Now, my philosophy with the phone is that my children didn't get phones until they could pay for it, because I want them to learn to take care of their stuff, right? I don't see a phone as a necessity. Now, in today's age, a lot of people do want their children to have a phone. So this is completely between you and your parents. But I would recommend that you pay for your phone bill in one way, shape, or another. If you don't have an actual job outside of the home, maybe you can offer to do some type of chore in order to help pay your family back for that phone, because they are expensive. And when you start to pay for it, then you start to respect it and take care of it a little bit better. Okay, so before we get to college, I want to make sure that you have a very good understanding of what healthy boundaries are with relationships. And what I mean by that is, by now you've probably had friends, and you'll see that some of those friendships change. Maybe they started out really good and you had a lot of good, clean, healthy fun together. And then something became different, and you noticed that that person was treating you different. Maybe they were poking fun at you or making derogatory comments, or maybe they were making bad choices and they started drinking or doing drugs or doing things with risky behavior. If that's the case, I want you to be able to recognize what's a healthy relationship and what's a not healthy relationship. And then put a boundary up, which is about like putting up a wall. If you're finding that people are treating you badly, then you start to put up a wall so that they can't continue to treat you badly. If we continue to live with toxic relationships, then it will just wear us down, and it can have a huge impact on your life. So this goes with your friendships, even with teachers, family members, you name it. Sometimes we just have to put those boundaries up to know what we will allow to happen in our life. If we will allow people to talk bad to us on the phone, or if we won't. And it's okay if somebody starts yelling and screaming and calling you names on the phone to say, I won't allow you to talk to me like this, and hang up. It's okay. So healthy relationships. We'll have an entire lesson built around healthy relationships. So we'll leave that as it is. Avoiding and managing car trouble. So earlier we talked about maintenance of your car. Well, now we want to talk about what happens if you do have trouble. Whether it's a car accident, or the car starts to overheat and break down, or those little warning lights pop up. I want you to know what to do in those situations. Career plans. So maybe you're thinking, okay, I'm just in high school. Why do I need to know what my career plans are? Well, this is very important, especially when you consider you're about to go to college and spend a lot of time and money working towards a career. So through this process, and we'll talk quite a bit more about it in the college preparation lesson within this mini class, I want you to explore a lot of different avenues of what your career might be. And then as you start to settle on which career you think you want, then we can start to make plans. Now, that doesn't mean those plans can't change, but I want to really start laying out the groundwork of what the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years will look like. Finding and negotiating a good job. I want you to understand how to use applications, whether it's online or in person, when to use resumes, what the difference is between a resume and a CV. A CV is a curriculum vitae. And I want to give you an opportunity to learn how to present yourself when you go into a job interview, how to dress, how to speak, how to shake their hand, and Also, how to do follow-ups once you've had an interview, how you can even prepare for that interview with behavioral questions and some role playing, and then how to position yourself for a job offer so that when they call you to offer you the job, you're prepared, you know how much money to expect, you know why you qualify for the job and how much value you add, and then how to counter offer and say, well, this is a wonderful offer. I'm very appreciative of this. Can you raise the amount to such and such? Or can I have these days off? Can I work my schedule so that I'm only working these days? So there's a lot that you can bargain with. And at that moment where they offer you the job is really the time to start making sure that the expectations on both sides are met before you say yes. Then, safety. There's tons and tons to know about safety, and I will have a separate class just devoted to safety, but I want you to understand how to keep yourself safe, whether it's while you're driving, before you get into your car, when you're walking around campus, when you're at a party, when you're in your home and there may be toxic air or gas that you aren't aware of. There's a lot to know about safety, so always consider this. It could also be what to do in case of an earthquake or a tornado or hurricane while you're at campus or while you're at work. All right, taxes. So taxes are something that everyone needs to know about. And for high schoolers, maybe you're not paying taxes yet or you're not dealing with it yourself. If you have a job, you're probably paying taxes and you don't even know it. But I want you to understand what the taxes are, why you need to know about it, and what those deadlines are, and then who you're going to work with to make sure you meet that deadline. Where to put a stamp. This may sound pretty silly, but you'll be surprised how many students go off to college and they don't know to do their taxes and they don't know where to put the stamp. So I want you to understand how to write a letter and where to put the stamp on the envelope. And then navigating in and out of town. Maybe you know how to get to and from your school, to and from your friend's house, to and from church, but can you navigate anywhere else in town? So one thing I want to challenge you with is while you're in high school, if you do have a phone, put it down when you're in the car and pay attention. Even if you're not driving, I want you to pay attention as your parents are driving around so that you can learn the streets, you can learn the landmarks. This will help you greatly when you get your own car and you're driving by yourself. It will help you to know where you're at, and if there's an accident up ahead and the road's blocked, you'll be able to navigate those back roads. Also think about how do you navigate outside of town. If you're going to go to college outside of town, you will need to know how to use your GPS on your phone, but I also want you to know how to use maps because not everywhere you go has internet access. So it's quite possible you'll end up somewhere with no signal on your phone and no idea how to get where you need to be. So I want you to learn both of those. Okay, my assignment for you is to work with your parents or a trusted adult. I want you to go around all of these different places and think about what could go wrong. Really get a good idea of what you need to know. So you'll start with your own home, and in your workbook we have this broken down by location. So you'll start in your own home and just walk around each room, walk around the outside of the home, the garage, the basement, even look at the roof, the electrical, the plumbing, and think about what could go wrong. When you do this with another adult or a trusted friend, then that person can give you advice. And it's quite possible you'll come up with ideas that I haven't already talked about. And if you do, I want you to go to our Facebook page and tell me what you found so that we can share this knowledge with others. Also, after you do this in your own home, I want you to do this at your school. So by now, hopefully, you've already figured out what school you want to go to. I want you to actually take a college visit. Go to that school and start to look around. Go to the place where you think you will have your dorm room. Where would you go in case of an emergency? If there's a fire or a tornado or a hurricane, what would you do? What would you do if you're walking through campus and something's going on that you need emergency help? Do they have those poles with the little blue light on the top where you can call for help? Do you know how to work that? I want you to just walk around all of those buildings at the campus with a trusted friend, a parent, or somebody, and think about what you'll need to know. Also, I want you to think about what you'll do with peer pressure. How will you respond? And through our program, we'll have some role plays that you can do. The character development package actually has quite a few of these already outlined for you, but we can do these one-on-one in phone calls as well as through our Facebook group. I want you to think about schedules and deadlines too. Why it's important to pay your bills on time, why it's important to turn your homework on time, and what you would need to do to communicate if there was some reason that you were going to be late. Who would you talk to? And what are good reasons, if any, for being late? Again, we want to talk about safety. How will we be safe on campus? What if something's going on and we need help? Where would we go? Who would we talk to? Your student loans. Student loans are important to talk about. And as a life skill, you need to know before you settle into any contract what it means. Assimilating means how you become part of the group. So in college, it's very important to assimilate so that you feel at home, so that you feel like you are part of the group. But it's also important to know which group to get involved with. So we can talk about assimilating more. Homesick. Oftentimes, the first semester of school, many students will get homesick. So this is a good conversation to have ahead of time with your parents. What do I do if I'm homesick? How can I fix it? And I want to encourage you, if you do get homesick, usually it's in that first semester, and when you go home for break, then many students, unfortunately, refuse to go back the second semester. I want to encourage you to go back because those that do, almost all of them are happy that they've gone back, and then there's no more homesickness, at least not to that extent. Friends. So we will have a complete new course on friends where we talk about friends, why it's important to pick your friends wisely, and what to do when things are not going well with those friends. Professors. So I also want you to think critically. When you're in college, many professors will have their own agenda, and they're trying to teach you things that may not align with your personal values, with the values of your family, or you may start to think, I don't know that this information is accurate at all. So when those things happen, I want you to be prepared to know what to do. Do you argue with the professor? Do you stand your ground? Do you just go on with it because you need a grade in the class? So those are things that we can talk about, and we will have a separate class on this concept. Okay, and then your car. I want you and a parent or a trusted adult to go out to your car and walk around it. Think about all the things that could go wrong. And I'm talking about checking your oil. How often do you need to get it changed? Do you know that? Checking your transmission fluid, your window washer fluid. Think about how often you need to do this. And depending on the age of your car, you may need to do it more frequently. Hopefully you know how to put gas in your car, but I have known people whose parents put gas in their car for them. And so once they finished high school, they still didn't know how to do this. So it's completely on you to make sure you know how to take care of your car before you leave for college. Your tires, especially if you are moving somewhere that has bad weather in the winter. But regardless, you just need to make sure you have good tires on your car. So you'll need to know when to rotate and balance them, how to measure it to make sure that you have enough tread. Accident and theft protocol. Do you know what to do if there's an accident or if your car is stolen? Do you call your parents? Do you call the police? Do you call your insurance company? Do you stay put and fill out an accident report, or do you continue with your day and fill it out later? There's a lot of questions that we need to answer to make sure you know how to handle these situations. Maintenance. We've already talked a little bit about maintenance, but how to maintain your car. The tow truck. So if you have a situation and you need help, I want you to know how to call for the tow truck. If you have a service like AAA, they'll help you pay for it or maybe even pay for the tow truck to come. But they may come if your car won't start, or if you're out of gas, or if your battery's dead. So you need to know when to call for a tow truck. And a mechanic. If you do call for a tow truck, they're going to ask you where to take your car. So you'll need to know that. Do you already have a mechanic that you trust? Or if you're moving away to a different place, you'll need to find a mechanic. And then hot liquids. So when you are working on your car, you need to know what liquids to avoid for how long. Because let's say you open up the hood and you start to unscrew a cap. It could be that the liquid inside is so hot it's going to explode all over you and burn you. So you'll need to know what liquids you need to be careful with. And then overall safety. I want you to be safe. So as you walk to your car, make sure your keys are out and you're ready to go. I don't want you to get to your car and start fumbling around looking for your keys. Also, as you walk to your car, take a peek under it. You don't have to be obvious, but just as you walk, glance under your car to make sure nobody's under there. As you get in your car, take a peek in the back to make sure nobody's behind your seat. Just be safe. And then the obvious things, don't text and drive. Don't be distracted. So I hope this is helpful for you. And I do want you to know that you don't have to do all of this on your own. You have support. Your parents, your guardian, your trusted advisors. We are there to help you. Your family, maybe your grandparents, aunts and uncles, brothers and sisters, they are there to help you. Everybody has your best interest at heart and wants to make sure that you stay safe and that you thrive after high school. Your guidance counselor at school can also be helpful with learning life skills. If you find that there's something that you need, you can always go to the guidance counselor and ask them for help. And then a success coach. That would be me. I would love to work with you. I'll have additional classes that will go through some of these life skills step by step. Take a really deep dive into things like safety and how to manage money. But we'll also have an opportunity, if you want to work with me one-on-one, where we can have routine phone calls, maybe weekly or monthly, to help you with things like this. And then there's the Facebook group. So we can jump into the Facebook group right now and make a note of what you have learned from this lesson, what your next steps are, and I can't wait to hear if you find something new that I haven't covered in this segment. Okay. Well, we've spent some time together talking about life skills, and I'm so glad that you stuck through this video with me. Now jump into the workbook and do the assignment, and I can't wait to hear from you in that Facebook group. Have a wonderful day, and again, thank you for your time.